What is going on, guys? It is Punt Factor here, bringing you some more green-white Value Town. So I made a couple minor tweaks. The first one being, I want a Knight of Autumn main board. I don't like not having an out 2 ensnaring bridge in some of those decks and in some of those matchups, so I moved one Scoos to the side. I do still like Scoos currently, having access to 3 of them. And then I also dropped one Assassin's Trophy and brought in a third Collector Oof. I think that's going to help us out against some of the Tron variants that we may or may not have had trouble with. So I'm going to give it a go. We'll see what happens. And also Knight of the Autumn main board, or Knight of Autumn main board, will also help with Eldrazi Tron. So, yeah, I think that's what we want to try. Let's go ahead. Green, white, Heliod, Finks, Value Town, Modern League, 100 play points, join. Got my coffee. Got a few hours to myself. See this awesome shirt? I don't know if you can see it, but it is a sloth riding a hammerhead shark. It's the kind of mood I am in. Ready to roll. Been pretty impressed with this deck overall. I do like it. I do miss my ramen apps though, like a lot. I miss them so much. I don't know what we could really do though, because I like having the 2-drops in here. Even going down to just 4 2-drops makes me a little bit nervous, but I do think the Knight of Autumn's important main board for a little bit of extra utility. But man, if I could get that Ramen app effect, that would be sweet. This Dryad's also a sweet card that I would like to kind of brew with, but yeah. It's taken a hot minute. Where are all the people today? It's Sunday. Isn't everybody, or yes, no, it's Saturday. See, my days are all screwed up because work has me on a different schedule. Now my days off are Friday and Saturday. It's screwing me up. So I guess today is Saturday. We will get an opponent, though. So, ooh, there we go. I was going to say, for you not familiar with the deck, go ahead and pause the screen, because there it is. I'll go over it in more detail after the match. Basically, it's our green-white Value Town that I was jamming a while ago, but we added in the Heliod and Finks combo. So this hand, I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to keep it because we have a 2-drop. And it's a really powerful, if we can get another land, it's a very powerful hand. Got a Thoughtseize from our opponent. I'm assuming he'll take the Heliod. We're pretty far off of the Collected Company. One thing I'm also incredibly interested in, and this sounds crazy, but I'm incredibly interested in cutting the spike feeders. And I know there were definitely games that we played where getting that spike feeder infinite life combo is the only reason we won. But it would be interesting to try out Heliod in more of like the standard sort of Value Town build, because Spike Feeder by itself just sucks, right? It's just not that good of a card. I mean, Sure, you know, against burn and stuff, it's for life, and like that has definitely been relevant. Yes, I took Coco. Um, but it would be nice to get more of a utility creature in the deck as opposed to the Spike Feeder. Now, obviously, in these situations, as I'm talking about, it's also very nice having this 2-card combo, especially against, you know, decks like Jund. Now he's going to have to take something. This might be like 8 rack. He should probably take the Heliod. Interesting. Yes, Courser is good, but what are we doing there, guy? Okay. Let's go ahead and swing. If he doesn't do anything, I'll eat the Courser. Probably push here. Yeah. I'll gain a life anyway. I only have one more of these in the deck. It is worth noting that this Knight of Autumn would have been a Scavenging Ooze as well. So having that extra 2-drop there might not have been atrocious. There's a Lily. Yeah, this looks like to be 8 rack, I think. This robot has sweaty fingers. Good for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Heliod here, I think. Oh my god, please stop. Land, please. Perfect. See what we are getting ourselves into. So we'll drop, obviously sack the Knight of Autumn here. Okay, yeah, we're definitely playing 8 rack. Shall I refer a card with the same name as that card? Reveal it. Help out if you have no cards in hand. Instead, for a card. Okay, so what are we gonna? That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Then make us discard this. Take 3. So now we are just top decking. See, snaring bridge. Okay. That's unfortunate for him. So that's another situation, I guess, where this combo is nice. Obviously, it just kind of can win you games. And you know, it's not that like I don't like having Spike Feeder in. It's just it would be so cool having like I just miss the some of the lines that you had with Ramanap. I miss some of the lines you had with like playing Azusa, um, even Tireless Tracker. You know, the thing with like Tireless Tracker and the original Value Town was, you know, being able to really manipulate the top of your deck with your fetch lands and then drawing cards with Tracker. I just kind of I just miss those interactions. Now I will say though, you know, and a lot of the interactions and lines that this deck opens up now with Heliod, it's mainly because it is because of Heliod. It's not because of Spike Feeder. So I just think it would be interesting to have all of the other lines that we used to have, just with the inclusion of Heliod, to give us some more shenanigans like that. So we could actually math this out. So they're doing like 3. Actually, we have no way of killing this ensnaring bridge. Now that Knight of Autumn is no longer in our library. Oh yeah, we do. We could Blast Zone on 3. We could get a Knight out in Blast Zone. And swing in. That would be fun. So I guess we have a way. You know what? I'm going to play that just so if we draw a Collected Company, we can Coco. Obviously, I don't care about the 3 life. It's going to be a pain in the butt for him. Granted, he can't attack, but you know. It'll be nice though if we get a Knight out. We'll be able to get Blast Zone to 3. Kitchen Finks will come back. Should be nice. The other nice thing is when he goes to deck himself, we're going to win that war. He's got to be mindful of our clock. And this is one thing that like I noticed I hated playing this all-in Heliod online because you just don't have good ways of closing the game out and people don't concede to infinite life, which they shouldn't concede to infinite life at all. We'll shuffle this noble. Separate all permanents. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of their choice. Okay. Well, let's sacrifice pile 2 and get these guys back. We're going to shuffle away that noble. And I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Sorry, that was the... I'm getting my car worked on. And I had to answer that. So there's a Coco, which is good. We want knight and let's go knight and courser. That's actually a great draw. So I'm going to take my time here. I'm not going to fetch. I'm going to draw that first. Wait, we got to play that out. Trying to hurry up because I took a little bit of time there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's grab our blast zone. Put 2 charges on that. We will keep our collected company. So 1, and they concede. Okay, good. Bring in Knight of Autumn for sure. I like my 2 drops here. We could bring in Abrupt Decays. Let's get rid of the paths. Let's bring in the other skews just as a 2-drop. Do it like that. See, my wife just texted me. All right, sorry about that, guys. My wife, I had to stay home because of the car. It's actually my wife's car, is getting worked on, and she took the kiddos to my nephew's place. It's like his second birthday or it's his first birthday. Sweet little kid. But I had to stay here because the mechanic needed my assistance. Well, actually, I really just need to be here to pay him. I don't want to discard stuff, so I'm just going to keep this. That's fine. So it is definitely worth noting. Oh my gosh. That needs to stop. It's definitely worth noting that we won that game because we had the time due to Spike Feeder. So maybe it is correct to not take out Spike Feeder just in general. But I might tweak around some other things. Gonna push the bird? It would be wise to. It would be way wiser to push the bird than it would be, okay, than it would be to Thoughtseize me. Land? Perfect. So we're going to play out both of these here. So, let's see. I was going to say, the question is, what do I prioritize? Probably knight. Yeah, let's get the knight out here. I'm gonna keep this in my hand in case he has some sort of like a Liliana, obviously, which we know he has. That way we can get rid of the Ghost Quarter. So we're really protected by Lily, down tick or up tick. Leyline of the Void. That's kind of a pain in the butt. Let's play the Ghost Quarter off the top. That way we can get rid of his Field of Ruin. Swinging for 3 here. Because I like Gavany can get us there pretty quick. But obviously, with Field of Ruin, I don't want to play that Gavany out. because that Ley Line in the Void is kind of cramping our style with making a really big knight. Okay, so get rid of our Ghost Quarter, and then let's get rid of our bird. So we have to sack a land, huh? Yeah, I guess we'll sack the Ghost Quarter, unfortunately. Maybe we can bait him into I don't know if he wanted to field. Let's play our Spike Feeder out. Hit him for 4. It's funny, I have this whole conversation about Spike Feeders, and it's gaining us 4 life a turn. Cool. 3, 4. So let's go ahead and Gavany. I don't think he can get out of this unless he has Bontu's Reckoning or whatever. And then we just play. Okay, cool. So round 1, 2-0 versus 8 Wrack, I guess. Yeah. So let me just quickly go over the deck for you guys. Standard utility package of lands. We have 8 fetches, couple plains, 3 forests, 3 Ghost Quarters. I wish I had more Horizon Canopies, but I don't. And then we have our Blast Zone Bajuka Bog, which Blast Zone, you know, is proving to be pretty awesome in these spots. The bad thing about Blast Zone, there's 2 drawbacks with Blast Zone to this deck in particular. The more sort of generalized problem with Blast Zone is that obviously you can't blow it up for 0. So tokens get underneath Blast Zone, and we have no way in this deck outside of Plague Engineer to deal with tokens. So, you know, we're playing like Mardu Pyromancer with the elemental tokens. Now, Plague Engineer wipes them out completely, but when you're playing against Field of the Dead, you don't want to rely on Plague Engineers to be your strategy because you'll need both of them, and that's a pretty tall task when you're not running tutor effects like some of the other combo versions of decks like this. And the second big thing with Blast Zone, and this kind of just affects this deck really hard, is that most of the time when we want to use Blast Zone, it's on stuff that's CMC3, and unfortunately the majority of our deck and the majority of our synergies are all CMC3. So you kind of have to play that game. That's why I also like having a couple 2-drops for those kind of weird situations. Kind of like in that first game that we just played, I was able to have a Scavenging Ooze on the board that was going to be able to get huge after I blow up Blast Zone on 3, because it would have literally cleared the rest of my board. So yeah, anyway, moving on. We have 4 Path to Exiles. I'm only running 7 Dorks. I would love to run 8, but I have to jam pack all this other crap in here. 2 Scavenging Ooze, 2 Voices. We did have 3 Scavenging Oozes, but I put 1 into the side and brought in a Knight of Autumn main board just for some of that utility. We have 3 Heliod and 3 Spike Feeder for that infinite combo. I feel like 3 is like just the right number for both of these. Literally every time I felt like I needed this combo, I've kind of been able to hit it. So like, I wouldn't want to go any harder on that. And then we get into the value engine of the deck. in Knight of the Reliquary, Courser of Prufix, and then now, you know, these two just synergize so well with Heliod. Even if you take Spike Feeder out, whatever, this little line here is awesome with Heliod, along with Kitchen Finks, kind of adds to that value. We did have Tireless Tracker originally in the green-white value town, which is right here. But honestly, I don't miss Tracker. I miss Tracker in the sense that, you know, the old way of manipulating the top of the deck and drawing from clues I thought was sweet. But I will say, a lot of the time, in the old green-white value town, Tireless Tracker would be a really bad top deck for me. Because, you know, if you don't have the lands to support Tracker right away, it's slow. It's a very slow, it's a very grindy card. And I feel like Kitchen Finks just is better for that. You know, when you want to grind, especially if you have Heliod out, it's a blocker that you just continue to, you know, it has persist, and you toss the counter back on and you reset it. So this card's just absolutely fantastic with Heliod. All of this just synergizes so well. This 3-drop slot is just so powerful. And then obviously Knight of Autumn, just a little more utility there. And then our 4 collected companies. Now moving on to the sideboard, Aven Mind Sensor has been just like absolute king against all these Titan decks that are running around, Amulet Titan, Titan Shift, things like that. And I definitely want 3. So we have a couple Plague Engineers, 3 Collector Oofs. I don't know. I don't really think I want 3 Collector Oofs, but I didn't want to sit and think about what I needed to replace. Because I took out the 1 Assassin's Trophy that I was running. I just never used the damn thing. So, yeah, I don't want it. So right now we have 3 Oofs, but that'll probably change. We have 2 Abrupt Decays. Fantastic card. Would never run less than 2. We have the Scavenging Ooze and then the Knight of Autumn. You know, these are just easily interchangeable into the main board depending on what you're used to seeing. I wanted that Knight of Autumn for Ensnaring Bridge effects, and everybody's running freaking Ensnaring Bridge now. So, you know, having a main board answer to that feels nice. And then Damping Sphere, of course, because Ad Nauseam, Storm, Amulet hits them as well. So that's kind of just the list all around. I should have went over it first, but I didn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed that first match. This is Punt Factor bringing you all the green-white value town.